Excuse me, could you point me in the direction of ScreamCity? Never mind, I think I found it.
Hey horror freaks, welcome back to another episode of ScreamCity. I'm your host Monica.
And I'm Jessica, and today we are continuing our holiday series where we talk about festive horror movies. And in today's episode, we will be talking about the new movie starring David Harbour, Violent Night.
Yo,
Yeah.
this movie was a movie.
Yeah,
I need that on a
movie.
t-shirt. I need it on a
Yeah.
t-shirt for sure. Jessica and I were fortunate enough to watch a pre-screening of the movie just a few days ago or a few days before the initial release date, and we were very excited to talk about it. But before we get into the whole deal of everything, Jessica, what have you been up to?
Nothing too crazy. But I will
Nothing too
say,
insane.
Okay. If you heard our last episode and remember what I was talking about, and I was so excited about the World Cup, you cannot make fun of me. Okay, to be fair, we won that game. And by we, I mean Mexico. Okay, because I'm Team Mexico. But unfortunately, for you soccer fans out there, you know that we just needed one more goal to qualify, but that wasn't the case. But either way, I'm still very proud of the Mexican team.
Heart.
Heart. Little heart emojis. I love you, Memo Ochoa. And yeah, but besides that, I haven't started my new job. I hope soon. But I think
I hope I start soon.
I hope I start soon.
Yeah.
But I think we all know the onboarding process can be a hassle. So
Yeah, sure.
pretty much besides that, nothing too crazy. What about you, Monica?
Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
There's something about the stress. The holidays themselves are fun, but I do hate the stress part, obviously. Like, no one likes the stress part of the holidays because then I have to worry about getting people stuff. I've declared it that I'm getting no one anything.
Okay.
No one gets anything from me. I have $2 to my name.
Okay.
So,
Honestly, same.
yeah. So, I mean... I refuse to give into the stress of the holidays.
Yeah.
It's no more. I'm going to say no. And I hope that they accept it.
My love language is I love giving gifts.
Yeah.
I love giving gifts. But I just always feel bad if I don't know. I feel like
if
it's
you
the
don't get
Catholic
someone
guilt.
something,
Yeah.
or
If I don't give people something.
Yeah.
Like my mom, like every single one in my family was like, don't you dare like get me anything. I promise I don't want anything. And I'm like, where's the spirit of Christmas?
what do you mean you don't want anything?
What do you mean
Christmas
you don't
is
want
about
anything?
Gifts.
So obviously, knowing me, I'm going to go all out and buy them the most expensive things. With what money, I have no idea, but I'm going to find a way. But
Right.
yeah, I think it's just the Catholic guilt that makes me feel
Honestly,
bad about.
maybe. They always, tell you like never go into someone's house empty-handed, and they always tell you like always give a gift, even if it's something small. And so, I can feel that.
Yeah.
But my pocket says no this year. So.
I love that. Well, now that we have that out of the way, before we dive into our experience watching this movie for the first time and what our favorite kill is and all of that good stuff, let's give a quick synopsis, which, by the way, this episode will have spoilers. And
Yes.
since this is a new movie and if you haven't watched it yet, we strongly advise you to do so.
I think this movie's gonna do really well in theaters. It's really good.
It's really good.
It didn't meet my expectations in a good way.
Okay.
That's just the best way that I can put that. But yes,
Okay.
definitely watch that before you listen to this.
Right. Okay, so now on to the movie. Basically, it's Santa Claus, right? The Mr. Old Saint Nick. He's just doing his job. He's a little drunk, but nothing too crazy.
He had a little drink.
He had a little drink, a little shot, all that good stuff. Although he did violently, funny enough, throw up on a British lady. But you know what? We won't get into that right now.
No, that's for later.
We
That's for
didn't,
later.
yeah. But anyway, he's going on about his night, right? Until he shows up to a house that is currently dealing with a hostage situation. The bad guys who have broken into the home of Gertrude Lighthouse are out for her money. And then when Santa is met with a few of those bad guys, he has no choice but to help this family get out of the situation. And in the process, he befriends the youngest Lighthouse, and together they team up to be the bad guys. Santa even taps into his inner Viking, past heritage. I don't know. and that helps him defeat the Scrooge and his evil little elves. Yeah.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and get started on talking about first impressions, because I really want to know what you thought about it while you were watching it. And then obviously we'll get to me, but you can start us off and let us know.
Yeah. So I don't know what I was expecting when I first watched the trailer. So I did watch the trailer, but like maybe once or twice, like forever ago when it first came out.
Yeah.
So in a way, I was still going in a little bit blind. I was definitely not expecting the gore.
Me neither. I think that's kind of what I meant. That it didn't meet my expectations. I didn't really know what I was expecting.
Same.
I honestly wasn't even expecting for this to kind of be a comedy, I guess, in a way. But the entire movie, I think, was just funny. Super comedic,
and I think it's impossible to not have a comedic, any sort of thing without, with David Harbour. He's a funny man in general, but again, I think I was telling my sister that I think I was expecting like a lot of guns, a lot of,
like the action part.
Yeah, like action and a little bit of comedy,
but best believe I was gonna watch it anyway because David Harbour.
Right. So yeah, my first impression, honestly, I really enjoyed it. I laughed a lot. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I think the biggest aspect of the actual movie itself is comedy.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, following right behind it is thriller and all that good stuff.
Right.
But yeah. And then my favorite kill.
Your favorite kill?
Okay, I love this scene so much. I think it's the one that like I kept my mouth open like constantly because it was so great. It's Gingerbread and Candy Cane's kill.
Yeah.
Where the little girl, the youngest Trudy Lighthouse,
she does like a little Home Alone
little,
like booby traps and stuff.
Yeah. So Gingerbread, he bro, honestly,
he was so funny.
He was so
I think he's just so
funny.
big and so macho.
Yeah.
And the scene where they're like where they end up they have Santa like wrapped up and then so he tries to make them believe and then of course Scrooge is like no way and then they're like wait hold on, but what if he is Santa?
But yeah, no, Gingerbread, when he was like trying to go up those, oh God, when he was going up those stairs and he missed the step and his freaking,
we thought that he would step on it.
Yeah. No, that was not the case.
That was not the case. I think that was a really good like
jump scare, like, not really jump scare, but
like an unexpected type of like, oh fuck, the audience that we watched it with too definitely passed the vibe, but I think it was very cool that like we got like the full effect of everyone's like reacting to the same things that we were reacting to.
And I was actually telling my sister this. I told her, I was like, the audience for this movie was so good. And then I told her, I was like, I've noticed that the audience when it comes to pre-screenings or screenings in general are so good. And she was like, you know why? Because we're all movie freaks and we all, we all kind of have
actually
the same...
interested in watching giving these movies a chance before they come out to see if it's actually like
worth it,
to see if we can tell people about it.
So I appreciate that about, the pre-screening horror, I mean, movie family in general.
Yeah, in general.
So yeah, and then Candy Cane, Santa Claus ended up killing her.
Yep.
He was like, turn around. Like, I don't want you, and sing like a Christmas jingle.
Hers was gory as hell too. Yeah. I like that one too.
Both of those kills were my absolute favorite. The way, I can't get over Gingerbread's kill. Like, I can't wait to watch it again.
Gingerbread's kill was really, I think it was funny and it was really comedic, but it was still very gory. And I think that's what, like, I don't know. We can't explain it. It's just gory and funny. That's like the two main things in this movie that just make it, and it's like so good. But I like it because when he falls on the nail, I think it's gory, but obviously, but he doesn't die from it. And then it's a little bit later, like when he's just kind of there, and then he's literally like, why would you look at the end of a nail so high up? And then when the bowling ball just fucking rammed his face, muffed him,
and then he fell on the razor blades.
On like the palette of like blades and nails and stuff.
Yeah.
Awful.
And
he
then
sure got what is it? He needed a tetanus shot.
Oh, he do.
For sure.
Oh, he do.
I hope he had it.
Yeah. Okay, my favorite scene. I have a few. I think the whole movie itself just continuously was extremely good.
Was really good.
I liked that we saw a little bit of Santa Claus's Viking background and past and all of that, because I've always been interested in Santa Claus's history. And if I'm not mistaken, this is actually pretty true, that Santa Claus, I'm going to be honest with you, I've heard a couple different things about
well, to be fair, we know more about Halloween than we do Christmas.
That's true, yeah.
So I just know
so yeah, I don't really know much about
the basics of Christmas.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked that. I found it really interesting because you never really see in movies like where Santa Claus really came from.
Yeah,
you know
you
what I
just
mean?
see him being a badass or being Santa.
Yeah.
You know?
So I liked those very small scenes, but honestly, any kill scene was my absolute favorite. The scene where he kills, I think, the second bad guy in the basement with like the game room and all of that.
Yeah,
and he
the one
lights
with
him
the
on
star?
fire. Yeah. He stabs him with the star in the eye, and then he connects the cord
to the outlet.
And then he just bursts into
Sparks.
flames. I love it. I love it.
It was the whole scene in general.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
And then of course, again, another kill scene is when they enter the cabin, or it's like a cabin or a shed.
Oh, the shed
yeah.
scene.
And like
he fucks them up.
Every
single one of them.
Them up bad.
Yeah, he does. Every single one of them too.
The last two though, when they go into the
grinder,
yeah,
like
the grinder.
It's not a grinder. It's like a wood chipper. It's like a wood chipper type of thing.
Chipper. Dude.
Yup.
Right there and then, my sister and I looked at each other like, okay, damn. Like, okay, he is not playing.
He's really not.
He's really not playing. So, yeah, I loved those.
They're all like really great. Every single kill in this movie is like so great. I like, okay, so when we were watching it, so Jessica and I went on the same day, but we ended up sitting in different spots in the theater. It was actually pretty packed. So me, my roommate Melody, and our friend Kelly, and who she was with, we ended up sitting in the very front row of the theater. So I'm talking like very front, like you're looking up at the screen. And I'm gonna say it wasn't terrible. It was not a bad experience. We were kind of like, man, but like upon watching the whole film, like it wasn't bad at all.
Nice.
I got to see our David Harbour about 2 inches away from my face.
Oh yes.
So who I'm not gonna argue.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue. But I think the thing that kind of sucked was that which actually is one of my favorite scenes. So one of my favorite scenes was the beginning shot, because it's a one-shot scene. So they kind of just go through the house of like everyone kind of getting ready, the house ready for decorating for the party and everything. I love it. There's just something about one-shot scenes that are so sexy to me. It just looks so fabulous. But that scene, me and Melody were looking at each other like, okay, this is really, it's a little too, like, we got dizzy watching it because we were so close. But then the rest of the movie we were fine. That was kind of maybe the only thing that I wouldn't say. I would say as a last resort, I wouldn't mind sitting at the front of a theater. Like it wasn't a terrible.
I did that with Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh yeah, you said
it. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. It left me dizzy.
You were like,
it left me with a headache.
Yeah, I would definitely say don't sit in the very front row if you are easily or triggered with like motion sickness.
It's funny because they got the very first seats, and I got, well, not really the last seats, but I got the second to last seats up top. And I kid you not, my sister and I were like ready to give up because there were only one pair of seats left. You know what I mean?
Everyone, because nobody wanted to sit next to each other.
So annoying. And so at one point I saw 2 available up top, and I told her, I was like, okay, well, let's give it a shot. If that doesn't work, are you cool like sitting separately? And she goes, yeah, it doesn't matter. And so I ended up asking this lady who was sitting next to 3 empty ones. And I was like, hey, are those occupied? And she goes, well, this one is. And I go, okay. And then she was like, well, do you need 2? And I said, yeah. And she goes, come on. I was like, okay, thank you. Aww. So I sat next to her. And so that was pretty cool. So thank you to that lady.
So thanks to her. Well, I don't know. So my first impression, though, that there were a few scenes that I wasn't really all like super crazy about, and I feel like it kind of made the movie a little cheesy. Kind of like the parts where he's being sentimental with Trudy, that I was kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
So my favorite scene, it had to be between the one-shot scene and then also like the fact that we got to get a little peek of his Viking past. whenever he starts just killing all of these people in all kinds of different ways. And I like it because I like the thought of someone who has a character like Santa Claus have such a dark past. It's just something about, you know, like you never really know someone. And so when it's like this big, huge, like buff dudes who are like very much teddy bears, and then they're like, I don't want to fight you, I don't want to kill you, and then they like dig into their past, and then they're like, but I have no choice, and then it like just comes all out, and then it's just great. My favorite kill, there were so many good deaths. Like I really do think that almost every single death in this movie is like my favorite because they were all like extremely great. I even like the very first one that happens where he pushes him off and then later on he tells Scrooge over the walkie-talkie where he's like, yeah, I forgot what he called him. He was like, so and so who turned into an icicle. Yeah. That one was really good. But I'm going to have to go with Ben's, who is also Scrooge, who is AKA John Leguizamo. I just, that death was brutal.
Hey, we didn't see that coming. Did you?
I didn't. I didn't see that death. And I think that's also what makes the death so great. Because, like, Santa's literally on his last leg. Like, you are, like, this man is about to die. Which he does for a second. But, like, he ends up, like, he's about to die. And I loved every single second of this man, like, brutally murdered. I feel like his kills throughout the movie get worse and worse. And I think that's, like, what is so great. That kill had everyone's like jaw dropping and everyone was gasping and it was amazing to watch. If you have the privilege to watch this movie, I need to know your thoughts on his kill because I think it was great. It was the most gruesome death. Like they were not scared to show the guts and everything in that one. And
I appreciated that. I also liked I liked the fact that the last thing that Santa tells him is like, you're gonna believe now or whatever, you know, because he has to do like his cheesy one-liner before he actually kills someone. I love that. I think it's really great. And I think it's also, I think what makes it such like a classic kill for this movie is because it's such a Santa way to kill him. 100%. Because he does it through the chimney. So basically Santa in this movie, David Harbour has like this magic touch to where when he touches his nose, he has to, it's like an electricity type thing, and he has to be near a chimney for it to work, but he kind of just taps the side of his nose or his nostril and he just goes up and down the chimneys. Like, he turns into like this little like piece of dust and he goes, and Scrooge like is beating the fuck out of Santa. Like he's about to murder this man and he's like, yeah, I'm about to kill you. And they end up doing like that hug, like that Voldemort and Harry do before they jump off. Before they jump off the building. So they hug each other and then Santa, they're next to a chimney. They're outside too. I don't know where this chimney came from either. I don't know. This is like a random chimney outside. And so they're near one and Santa taps his nose and he shoves Scrooge's entire body through the chimney, and all Santa comes up with at the top of the chimney is just like his midsection. Yeah. It's like his midsection, like no legs, no head, no nothing. Everything is just hanging out, like intestines, stomach, like everything is just all hanging out. And it is the most brutal like ever kill, and I appreciate it 100%. Whoever thought of that kill, honestly, chef's kiss. Yeah, no, it was it is amazing. I loved it. That one was good. It was a good way to end the kills. Yeah, because I don't think anyone dies after that. I mean, Scrooge is kind of like the main dude. Yeah, he's like the head honcho of like the thing, but yeah, I mean, I love this movie. It's so gory and it's dark and it's twisted, and yet it was still written by the same people who wrote Sonic the Hedgehog. We love seeing diversity. Yes. Is diversity the right word, or we love seeing the range, like the range that people can go through. Yeah, you know, same. It's amazing. Yeah. It's honestly Sonic the Hedgehog meets gore. Yes. If you think about it. Honestly. Yeah. No, I love that for them. Because, but it's great. But we're not hating. We're not hating. Because I too would, I like to think that I would also do that if I had the chance. Like, I like to think that I'm creative enough to, you know, create a cute cartoon and let it be funny. And then boom. Do the most brutal kill you've ever seen in your life. Exactly. I feel like you see that in a lot of places now. And like, you know, shows or directors, movies, whatever, like going from one genre to another, and it'll always be funny to me because I think
it's great.
Yeah, no, I don't know who it is. Maybe it's Guillermo del Toro. He has different ranges and genres and all that good stuff. So,
but he has like this certain theme that you kind of know that is his.
It's him, yeah.
And I think that's great. And I think that opens up a lot of windows and opportunities for different people, not even just like producers or directors, but like for actors and everything. Because it's like once you kind of create that familiar
words are hard.
English is difficult, guys.
Yes.
Okay. Once you kind of create that, and then you also create those relationships with producers and writers and everything, then you create relationships, and then that means that range that's theirs can also be yours too, as long as you do well in it. So I think it's really easy to mess up something like that, to start off with one genre and then try to jump to another, or it can go really well. So I think it just really depends. And I think again, I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen Sonic the Hedgehog, but I heard it's actually a pretty good movie. I heard a lot of people liked it because of I think the humor as well, and I think that's what I think that's what this movie also does really well, is the humor that one can get out of it. Like it's from beginning to end, I think this movie did not lack in like a piece of humor at all. So
Same.
But I mean, just like actors too, like I said, like David Harbour, he is a hilarious man. But knowing that he can play a badass killer Santa Claus, something about it just feels right.
It just feels right.
It just feels amazing. It's like on the dot of the nose. It feels great. Yeah, and I feel like he was kind of made for this role. First of all, he had a man bun. He looked beautiful.
He did look good. Girl, okay.
Not only that, okay, but I like that they made Santa look hard because his suit. It was leather. His suit was leather. It wasn't like that soft fabric-y stuff.
Right.
Like this man been through some stuff to where he...
Knowing, like, I know we weren't sitting next to each other, but this should be no surprise. But when Santa was...
Stop, because I think I know exactly what you're about to mention. And me and Melody looked at each other and we said... We knew what they was doing.
Was sewing himself back up.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, when he was sewing himself back up, I looked at my sister and go, because he's shirtless.
Okay, look,
and I have a thing for dad bods.
Oh, same. I think it's something. Well, first of all, muscles are not a thing for me. I don't like muscles.
Oh, I don't like muscles.
I don't like big bulgy men
at all.
I like dad bods, whether they're thin or they're like on the thicker side. I like them just.
I need them to either be. Like, if I push them, they're going to fall. Or, like, that skinny. Or dad bod.
Yeah. A huge dad bod. Like, but there is a scene where he's on the walkie-talkie with Trudy. And he calls her a good girl. And Melody and I looked at each other and we said, they know what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing with that. I was like, one, daddy issues. Acting up.
Of
Two,
course.
there's just something about it.
There's just something about it. Especially David Harbour.
Especially David Harbour doing it. But I think he did really well because, again, I think in this movie, aside from being a badass killer and like, past Viking and everything, he plays the dad role a little too well.
I think he has some experience from that.
I was going to say, and obviously he does it really well in Stranger Things and everything, but I think he plays like the role of like a fatherly figure or someone who's supposed to show like...
But no, yeah, same. I absolutely loved and enjoyed this cast. I will say, though, I only recognized about 4 actors throughout the whole movie. Don't cancel me. David, obviously. Cam Gigadet. John Leguizamo and Beverly D'Angelo, who plays
Is Cam Dignett the son-in-law?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that guy was so funny.
He is really funny. My sister knows him from like early 2000s shows, so I obviously grew up with him too.
Yeah.
And then everyone else,
never seen in my life.
Never seen a day in my life.
Well, I think I've seen the mom somewhere. I like the mom, Trudy's mom.
Trudy's mom.
Yes,
she looked familiar, but I looked her up.
I couldn't think of where I've seen her though.
I will say though, after looking at the cast afterwards, I was shocked to find out that Alva Lighthouse, aka Jason's sister, is Fran from Knives Out.
Fran,
the maid.
No.
Yes.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
How?
I don't know.
No.
No, trust me. I told my
well, to be fair, I guess Knives Out. Well, no, Knives Out wasn't even that long ago. I was gonna say she looks a lot older in this movie. No, I refuse to believe that they are the same person because they don't look alike.
Dude, well, here's the thing. It also like threw me off because I was like, that can't be her. Like it was, but then the more I saw it, I was like, that kind of makes sense. But here's the thing. Again, the same thing with like the range. This woman has range.
I guess that's true.
It's almost the same-ish genre in a way, kind of thriller, whatever.
Okay.
But we saw her a little bit differently as a character in Knives Out versus, this movie.
Okay.
So yeah, it absolutely threw me off, and I think they were obviously trying to make her look a little bit not so good in Knives Out.
Okay.
And she looked so good in this movie. So again, range, love her.
D'Angelo. Who are you talking about?
The sister of Jason?
Oh, the sister.
Who'd you think it was?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the mom.
Oh no.
I was so confused.
Girl.
I believe it. No, yes.
Okay.
No, I recognized her then. Never
Okay.
mind. We were on completely different level. I was like, what are you talking about? No, yes, I actually do believe that. I do believe that. She looks like the same person.
I was over here trying to like defend
You were
her
trying
for
to
the life
defend
of
her. You
me.
were
I
like,
was
I
like,
promise. No, yeah, I 100% believe you. I actually do. I remember I recognized her and I was like, oh, I've seen her and stuff too. So yes, I agree. I will say I've never seen Trudy in anything. Never seen. I don't know who the dad is.
I have never seen that man a day in my life.
Never seen that day in my life. Other than I could not get it out of like my head.
Rami Malek.
No.
Oh.
I was just gonna say that he looks like.
Say it.
I don't know if it's gonna be fucked up. He looks like an animated figure.
Oh.
Like the ones that they mold for like clay and stuff, like from clay, and then they make it like a movie, like Coraline. Yeah, he reminds me of like one of those.
No,
like Coraline's dad.
The second I saw him, I was like, "Is this Rami Malek?" It looks just like him.
Yeah,
and then I
look
looked
like
a
him.
little bit into him, and he's British, so that's cool.
Cool. He looks British.
He looks British, yeah. But no, I've never. I was honestly surprised. I was like, I've never seen this man a day in my life.
What is the meme? What is the meme say?
Which one?
Yeah, oh, Mina. What did she say?
She's
no
like,
disrespect.
I've never seen this man a day in my life.
Kiki Palmer.
Which she's pregnant, by the way, so congrats to Kiki Palmer.
I didn't know she dating. I didn't know she was dating. She married.
I don't remember, but I don't remember who the dad is. But
I don't know who the baby daddy is.
I saw a tweet somewhere.
Okay.
But good for her.
Good for her. She looks
happy
happy.
Yeah.
As long as she's happy and glowing, good for her.
I'm happy.
I'm happy for her. That's amazing. Kiki Palmer's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Good for her. Anyway, moving on. We got completely sidetracked. I was at a loss. Anyway, yes, but I will say that I also recognized, which you and your sister, y'all didn't try to gaslight me, but y'all did make me feel a little crazy because I was like, is that him? But I was right. I was completely right. And I had actually mentioned him in the previous episode because I had said that one of the guy, Ashton Holmes, I said that he kind of looks like this guy as well. And hold on, let me find his name.
Brendan Fletcher.
Brendan Fletcher is he plays Krampus, so he's one of the elves who is very quick to do the most demented
He's like
things.
one of the most psychotic elves.
He's one of the psychotic elves. He's not afraid to do anything. But he plays the boyfriend in Freddy vs. Jason. And I think he did really well. He was so funny too in this movie.
He was psychotic.
I can also tell that he's a bit of a short king. He's a bit of a short king, but you know what? We don't shame.
We don't shame.
We don't shame whatsoever. But I was gonna say he looks really good because he has like long hair in this movie.
And I swear, I looked him up, and I kid you not, his name and his face sounds so look and sound so familiar. Never seen that man a day in my life.
Never seen him? No. I have. I remember him. Cool. And he was also a bit of a popular dude in the early 2000s. So
nice.
So yeah, good cast. I liked it a lot.
And I read this hilarious fact. I don't know if you know this, but when Morgan Steele, aka Cam Gigandet,
dude, so funny,
said that. Whenever he said that if he would have been on the plane during the 9/11 hijack, he would have been able to stop it from happening.
Oh, yeah.
So Mark Wahlberg, the actor, he literally said that, like, legitly.
Oh, my gosh.
A few years ago.
So it was like a bit of a parody.
Yeah, it was a bit of a parallel parody. And I knew that sounded familiar. Like when
Oh
he
my
said
gosh.
it, I was like, where have I heard that? I was like, is it an ongoing joke?
That is
And
hilarious.
sure enough, it is an ongoing joke in a way because people always make fun of Mark Wahlberg for it.
That's true.
And, well, you know, eventually Mark Wahlberg apologized for it. But I was like,
Dude, that is hilarious. The fact that, because he does, like, his character in this movie is supposed to be like this super
Like-
self-invested, like
bimbo.
yeah, he's a
What's
huge
the male version
himbo.
of himbo? Yeah.
He's a huge himbo.
Huge himbo.
Lights on no one's home for sure.
absolutely.
Other than, and then the only thing that you can tell is like plastered in his head is like a poster of him.
Yeah.
This man is a huge himbo, and honestly love him.
Yeah.
For that, but he's so funny. When he tried to, who did he try to fight someone, and then he ends up getting shot and killed.
Yeah.
But that is hilarious. The
Yeah.
fact that they did like a little
Parallel sort of.
parody.
Oh my
That is
gosh.
hilarious. I love that. But also, I'm not sure if you noticed, but after Jason had his finger smashed by the Nutcracker, his hand looked completely fine throughout the rest of the movie. They didn't really do a good job with trying to cover that up.
And I will say, I definitely noticed because, in fact, during the scene of his finger getting smashed, I thought I saw that, like, the next literal scene of, you know,
Like,
that
right after
same
it?
situation.
Yeah.
He was holding up the other hand.
Oh,
and
no.
I don't know if that's me saying this now, but I swear I saw that.
I mean,
So-
to be fair, a lot of these things happen in movies,
Yeah.
you know, where like the editing kind of gets slipped up somewhere. And then, you know, I mean, who knows? They were probably
Yeah.
filming at like 3 a.m. Like, you
Probably.
never really know. So
yeah.
like, he was
But
probably tired.
I will
but
say I
I love
also-
catching those things.
Yeah, I also liked the scene where they were like so close to smashing the Jason's balls.
It was hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
And then the
I was
fact
like, are
that
we-
Candy Cane was like, I'm not touching that.
In my mind, I was
He's
like, are we actually
grab
going to
his
see
balls.
this? I was like, wait.
He was
And
like, grab his balls.
The fact that
And she's like-
Krampus was so down
He was
for
like,
it.
I'll do it.
He was like, I'll do it. No
Absolutely,
hesitation.
no hesitation.
And you
He
know
said,
what?
Give me the balls.
and you know what? Like, we don't shame here.
We don't shame, no, bro. If you like it, you
If
like
you
it.
like it, you like it.
Just say you like it.
At least we found a volunteer. Like, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters, bro. But anyway, who gonna crap his nuts? Because someone needs to do it.
Exactly.
And he said volunteers should be.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
for him.
So
Good
good
for
for
him.
him. Yeah.
It was amazing.
I loved it.
I loved it too. I thought it was funny, and I like catching those little moments. And they have them in every single movie. Guarantee that if any movie you watch, you'll find that one thing that's like, hey, that's bad editing.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever. The rest of the movie is fine.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go ahead, move the episode along, and we're going to play a little Would You Rather? Yeah. Okay, so for this Would You Rather be a bad guy breaking into the Lighthouse family and leaving with the $3 million, but you know that Santa is still literally watching you and definitely on the naughty list?
Yes.
You know, for the rest of your life, because that is $3 million that you just stole.
Right.
From someone who actually stole it, though. So, like, you know.
Yeah, but
Okay.
like, but still.
Okay. Or be just in the hostage situation, but you know Santa now, and that he's now your, you know, he's your pal. He's your
Your
friend
little
now. And he will protect you. So
But you are broke.
You broke as fuck. So would you rather be friends with Santa and be broke, or would you have $3 million and be on the naughty list?
Or would you rather have $3 million, be on the naughty list, and have the thought lingering behind your mind that
like,
Santa could come and fuck you up
You
anytime?
up at any moment.
So do you want to be rich with
like paranoia?
With paranoia, or do you want to be broke and have Santa be your BFF?
See, the greed in me definitely wants the $3 million and just
Same.
live with the paranoia, because like, would it be possible for me to hire
Another hitman?
like a hitman
Here's the thing.
for my hitman?
Here's the thing. If Santa tries to kill me, can I just seduce him? I think I could seduce him.
I think we could work something out.
I think we could work something out.
You know what I mean? No, because he has a Mrs. Claus, and from the movie, from what it sounds like, he's very loyal.
Come
He loves his wolf. He loves his wolf. He loves
You
his
know.
wolf.
And good for him, but that never stopped me.
A man's wolf never stopped me. But I also want to be friends with Santa, because then that means if I were to get bullied,
he would be.
he would bully back.
Yeah.
But like in my defense.
Yeah.
You know, or if for whatever reason I happen to end up in another hostage situation, like he's there to help me.
Yeah. And if you find yourself in another hostage situation, you have an issue. You got problems.
Yeah, at that point, he's going to be like, listen.
Like, hey, I'm not helping you no more.
I'm not helping you. This apparently likes to follow you.
Yeah.
So, you know what?
Good luck.
So,
listen, the inner child in me would be like, I would obviously want him to be, my
friend.
pal,
Yeah.
and protect me from anything. And sure, I'm broke, whatever. But at least I have Santa's love,
okay.
But no, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I'm gonna take the $3 million.
You know what? $3 million is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Well, maybe not now, since inflation.
Right. Yeah.
But it's still quite a bit of money, and it's definitely
still...
$3 million more than what I have now.
Exactly.
And I think me taking the $3 million and then just remembering my beautiful thoughts that I actually got to meet Santa,
right?
And I can actually believe that there's Santa. There was proof in front of me. I'm going to be greedy, and I'm taking the $3 million for sure. I mean, but there's people that would definitely love to be Santa's friend, especially if it's David Harbour.
Yeah, and they'll just have to live with being broke for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I also didn't know. It sounded in the movie like Mrs. Claus was still around, but I don't know if she was dead.
Yeah, no, that part kind of confused me.
I don't know if
because I think they were fighting.
He's like, because we've been going strong for 110 years.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna assume that she's alive.
I think for a little bit longer.
Kind of get a little bit.
But no, I think she's alive because she made him that little note.
Oh, that's right.
But I think they were fighting.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
You're so right.
Yeah.
I think that's
probably because he's a drunk or something.
Yeah, honestly,
I'm just creating stories at this point.
At this point, we're creating chaos. Yeah. Okay.
Now that we have that would you rather out of the way, I think it's time for us to rate this movie.
Yeah.
Now, since this movie wasn't completely horror, we'll only be rating it based off satisfaction. So, Monica, what would you rate this movie from 0 to 10? 0 being worst movie ever, you will never watch it again, to 10 being OMG, this is my new favorite movie and I can't wait to watch it again.
I agree. So this movie's not really much of a horror movie, so there's not really much of a horror scale. Right. But it is very gore, so take that as you will. But this is a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I can see this being a comfort movie and definitely being a rewatch every Christmas. It's getting added to the list. The only reason I'm not doing a full 10 out of 10 is, again, just because of the same cheesy scenes that I was kind of like about. But I guess it's not really a true Christmas movie without like the Christmas message of like you have to believe. Yeah, like all that good stuff and all that stuff. So 8.5. Yeah. Okay. What about you?
Honestly, same. I really enjoyed this movie. It was funny. It was gory, which we all know were gore horrors. And it was honestly very sweet and cute at times. So I truly enjoyed this movie. And my sister and I even said the same thing, which was that we will definitely, what you said, it will definitely be a new must-watch movie
for sure
for the holidays, because my sister and I already have Elf, Krampus, and I personally have Polar Express, and she loves to watch Jingle All the Way. I don't really like that movie much. So actual rate, I think I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Yeah. It's a good movie.
Yeah. Maybe 9.5 out of 10. But 9.5.
Again, it's the cheesy message behind almost every Christmas film of like, never look at the greed part of Christmas. Always make sure you believe in
family.
Fuck family.
Honestly.
With all due respect.
Right. Yeah. If you love your family, that's
especially their family. Their family was delirious.
I know. Yeah. I wasn't expecting the gory part of the movie. I'm glad that there was, because I genuinely thought, in fact, I was talking to my sister, and I think I mentioned this in the last episode, I don't remember. She is anti-trailers.
Oh, yes.
So when we were coming back home from the screening, we were talking about it, and she was like, I thought, she said, I wasn't expecting him to be the real Santa Claus. I thought he was a guy dressed up as Santa Claus. And I was like, excuse me?
No,
I was like, did you not see that?
Santa?
I told her, I was like, did you not see that through the trailer? She goes, bro, I don't watch trailers. I'm like, oh, you're right. So that, I was like, what?
Understood.
Yeah, no.
No, he was the real Santa.
He was a real Santa.
He was the real Santa.
And good for him.
Good for him, too. He played, I think he did Santa really well.
He really did. You know what's actually another thing that I just thought about? We're slowly getting into the new generation of men who play Santa Claus, if you think about it.
What do you mean?
like, when we were younger, we had specific actors who played Santa Claus. Like we have Tim Allen who still plays Santa Claus. But now I feel like David Harbour playing this Santa Claus is gonna open some doors for middle-aged men who are gonna be the future Santa Clauses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, I think he did Santa Claus really well. Like, I think he took a little bit of Hellboy and also a little bit of Hopper. And he put it into like Santa Claus.
Absolutely.
And I think he did great.
That.
And I think it was like a combo of both. So
I was telling Monica this before we started recording, but I was so close to meeting David Harbour, y'all. I was so mad. Basically, long story short, I won a free photo op to meet him at a convention here. And, I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to meet David Harbour, free photo op, great. Come the day of the convention, and they're like, hey, unfortunately he had to cancel. And I was like, bruh. So
he said, not
so
on my
close.
watch, not free.
But to be fair, I'm like 1 degree from knowing him. Well, not really knowing him, but like meeting him, because I've met Finn Wolfhard and all of that. So
Yep.
that's close, right?
It's close.
In general, this
true.
is definitely a new David Harbour fan page.
Yep.
So
this all of a sudden turns to a David Harbour podcast.
Yeah,
for sure. I can talk about that man for life.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, enough of us over talking about David Harbour and how much we love him, but new holiday movie to watch every year. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it. We highly recommend. If you don't like gore, watch it with some caution, but I think overall it's a really good like Christmas movie. I think they did really well. But I think we're going to go ahead and say that is going to conclude our episode for today. Thank you again for following us along. And once again, if you want more of these episodes, please make sure to follow us on all of our social media so that you can stay up to date with all of our other episodes and newer episodes. And our social medias will be tagged in the description for this episode.
Yes, and please make sure to tell your horror or movie fanatic friends about us. We would truly appreciate it. And please stay tuned for next week's episode where we talk all about The Mean One.
Dun, 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 dun.
This actually comes out on the 15th, so we are super excited to see David Howard Thornton again in the big screen.
This year?
In less than 2 months since we saw him on the Terrifier?
Yeah, that's true. When did Terrifier 2 come out? Like beginning of October?
Maybe,
like
yeah.
Wow.
But I'm excited to see him
doing that thing.
And again, range.
I mean,
it's the same genre, I think.
And I feel like it's kind of the same concept because he's going to play like a psychotic killer, I think.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. It's the fact that he can do range in different costumes.
Yeah, in different masks. Whatever.
It's pretty much a mask.
Yeah.
But I am very excited to see what this has in store, and I'm very excited to talk about it.
I'm actually excited to see. I'm assuming saving.
You know what? I actually haven't seen the trailer for this.
Really?
I haven't. Obviously, I've seen all the promo that David is doing for this movie, like on his Instagram and everywhere else. And all I see is the pictures and
Same.
Everything, but I haven't watched the actual trailer.
Haven't either.
And I don't think I want to.
Okay.
I think I want to go with not minimal expectations, but I think I just want to go in with being like, I think this is the concept. I just want to see how it comes out.
Yeah.
Again, I'm biased, so
Yes.
I don't know how well.
We don't listen, David. If you're listening, we don't
Both
give a
Davids?
shit. Yeah, both
There's
Davids.
just
We
something
have a
about-
thing for Davids.
There's something about David's. Y'all are great. It's amazing.
But David Howard Thornton.
David Howard
If by any
Thornton
chance you're listening to this, we don't give a shit if the movie fails because we loved it.
Yeah.
Or we're gonna love it because you're in it. Period.
Because you're in it.
Period.
Point blank. Again, I think that was my same thought with Hellboy.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's whatever. But
you
you know
know.
what? There are a lot of movies that are rated very terrible ratings, and it's a lot of people's favorites movies. So I think it just really depends
Yeah.
on your taste
Yeah.
or who you're biased against.
Yeah. And
But I think it's great. I'm excited.
I'm mostly excited to see what characteristics he brings from
For this one,
art
because
to
in this one,
being the Grinch.
Well, not only that, but in this one, he actually gets to talk.
Yeah, that's true.
He gets to talk and be, the Grinch for this one. When in Terrifier, he doesn't have dialogue, so he has to act completely with his. But I think his mannerisms are going to be a lot alike,
Very
and I'm
similar.
very excited because if the Grinch, like even the way Jim Carrey made him in the live action. for Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. No one can beat Jim Carrey's Grinch. It's amazing.
Love it.
But I think that obviously he's going to take some of that stuff, but also put like Terrifier with it. And so I think overall, I think I'm going to love the way he does this Grinch.
And yeah.
So the mean one is going to be next, and we're really excited. I think it does come out in theaters, right? But he also said it's coming out on streaming services, so I didn't know. I
think it's coming out in theaters.
Okay. Well, we'll go watch it.
And we'll be first people in line.
First people in line.
But not the first row.
Not the first row. Just the front in the line to get tickets.
Yes.
All right. But yeah. Okay. We're going to go ahead and conclude this episode. We're really excited to talk about the mean one next week. But in the meantime, thanks again for listening. We've been your host, Monica.
And Jessica.
Stay safe and stay spooky.